once-in-a-thousand-year deluge.
Please help us! People's drowning!
Flash floods rip apart a small Cornish community.
It was going over the seawall. It looked like Niagara Falls.
And skydivers somehow survive as weather tricks them into a mid-air collision.
I remember instantly thinking, I just watched her die.
Texas, 25th of August 2017. Offshore in the Gulf of Mexico, Harvey, a massive hurricane with winds of over 100 miles per hour, was barreling towards the U.S. coast.
Harvey continues to strengthen and is now a Category 1 hurricane.
12 years after the total devastation from Hurricane Katrina, America braced itself for a battering from hell.
Hurricane Harvey expected to bring a life for a new heavy rainfall event across south central Texas.
Even the wildlife was taking cover.
Guys, this Cooper hawk has sought refuge in my cab here, and he looks like he's scared.
Hey.
So he just flew in?
Waiting in the deserted coastal town of Rockport, where Harvey was due to strike first, was storm chaser Josh Morganman.
Hurricane Harvey is coming, and I gotta get inside because it's getting crazy now.
For this extreme weather junkie, bigger is better.
I have great respect for the power of hurricanes. I've been in so many, probably 35 or 40, and even so, when I get inside one, I still have that feeling of just awe and wonderment, and I still find it scary. When I first left for Texas to chase Harvey, I was totally skeptical. It had been over 10 years since the U.S. had gotten a really strong hurricane, but something in me told me to chase it. And when I got to Texas, it was like the storm just sprang to life.
Earlier, the Rockport mayor had told everyone to leave town or mark themselves with their social security number to be identified if dead.
Like a lot of towns along the U.S. Gulf Coast, Rockport is very vulnerable. It's just barely above sea level. And if a big hurricane would hit the town at the wrong angle, it could send a massive storm surge through the whole place, wipe it out. This was a dangerous situation.
As Harvey's powerful core homed in on Rockport, it was upgraded to Category 4, the second highest hurricane category, capable of obliterating concrete structures.
So I found this brand new corporate hotel, big old building made of solid concrete, and I thought to myself, this will be a good place to ride out this hurricane. This will be safe. I was wrong. The hurricane's violent inner core, the inner ring, we call it the eye wall, came with darkness, and the wind started to blow like nuts. Debris was flying through the air. And a piece of tin hit you, could take your head right off. The whole building just started to shake and vibrate and tremble from the force of the gusts. And what I thought had been a very solid building suddenly didn't feel so solid. Then we just heard this like tremendous crash, and then there was this feeling of a draft, like wind had gotten in the building, the ceiling tiles were falling. And what that meant was that the wind had ripped the building open.
I took care of all of y'all. Stay here, and I ask you to stay here, please.
Despite the hotel being hurricane-proof, Harvey had torn away the east-facing wall.
So kind of serious situation. The building is having structural damage. The stairway is separating from the rest of the hotel, and people are very concerned. The question was, is the building going to stay up through this?
Trapped, facing imminent danger outside an inn, Harvey sprung another nasty surprise.
Harvey was a very interesting hurricane structurally. On the boundary between the eye wall and the calm eye were what we call embedded mesovortices, and that's just a fancy term for these violent little whirlwinds. And these things are small but dangerous. It's like a tremendous gust, a hammer hitting the building, and also because it's a tiny area of intense low pressure, you feel it popping in your ears. It literally almost hurts. And Harvey was loaded with these things.
Having been pulverized by 130-mile-per-hour winds, Harvey suddenly switched off. The center, or eye of the hurricane, is eerily calm. This gave Josh a chance to inspect the carnage.
There's reports of collapsed houses, cars flipped. This is a really bad hurricane. We're only halfway through it.
As the back of the hurricane rolled over, Josh endured another hour's battering before Harvey finally released its lethal grip. The next morning, it was like a giant wrecking ball had attacked Rockport.
The outside of the hotel was smashed up so badly it looked like a dollhouse. A whole wall had just blown away so you could see inside. You could see all the rooms and the stairs. It was crazy. So I drove around town afterward, and it was a sorry sight. Just roofs ripped off of houses, buildings collapsed. It was like someone had just dropped a stick of dynamite on Rockport. Harvey was a rude awakening.
Next, though, in Harvey's crosshairs was the city of Houston. And while the hurricane dissipated to a tropical storm, it had a deadly sting in its tail. Later, we'll see how Harvey devastated America's fourth largest metropolitan area, unleashing a year's worth of rain in under a week.
Oh my God!